Hold up.
Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdets News 10, and I want to talk about Stargirl. Season 2 just came to a wrap, and because I did not review each individual episode, I want to review it as a whole. Now, this is on the CW, and if you are currently watching it, this will contain spoilers, so make sure you finish it up and come back at a different time. But I want to talk about this season, what it represents. I want to go through a couple of the different characters and really dive into the idea where they're going with season 3, which is titled Frenemies. But first off, I want you to hit subscribe. Okay, that was a perfect segue. I had to take it, right? Hit like, leave me a comment down below. Now let's really get into this because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Stargirl, and I may bring this up on my Tuesday morning stream, but first off, the idea of hope was center in this season. The idea of hope and how much it lives in Courtney. Not only that, but as a team, how does trauma and adversity basically rob us of our capacity to hope? And how do we nurture that idea of hope or restore it? It's a really complicated subject with a lot of different variables. This one specifically brought in Eclipso, who, as far as costumes go, wow. Like, I was shocked at how well of a job they did on a CW show for Eclipso, a very complicated look. Now, it was great. A lot of this was great, and that's what you're going to hear a lot from me in this video. But specifically, before I even go into that, I want to mention how right now we're seeing a lot of people heralding the idea of diversity and inclusion. And that is really how they market some things. We're seeing it right now with Eternals. And this show, naturally, without even really a little bit, but not too much race bending, we see a naturally diverse cast. We see a range of people, and that's not what they went for when it came to really marketing the show. And they did the same thing with Superman and Lois. And the quiet ones seems to be the ones that are actually doing instead of talking about it, right? Action speaks louder than words, and this show is really doing that. There is some great moments in this, specifically when it comes to Courtney. She is, of course, center. She is Stargirl, right? But the idea that because she is so optimistic and so hopeful, almost to a point where you want to hit her, right? She's constantly wanting to go and wanting to do, and this character really doesn't ever give up. One point she does say in the very last episode that she hates Eclipso, and he's able to kind of get a hold of her through that little bit of hate. But the idea that someone is that pure and they're basically fighting that negativity with their hope is really centered to a lot of the themes in the show. I also really enjoyed the little boy that plays Eclipso. Oh my God. He's so cute and so creepy and so creepy. What makes little kids so creepy? It works so well. And I actually think it was really smart from a monetary standpoint, right? I'm sure Eclipso cost a little bit more to really put him in the suit. Not only put him in the suit, but move him around. When it came to CGI, they had to have him crawl and stuff. So using the little boy, I'm sure it was a lot cheaper. And it actually made it way more creepy. I would say the little boy is even more creepy than Eclipso himself. Now, when it comes to the other characters, definitely my second favorite was Shade. Such a, like, that accent is so adorable. Like, I know he is an older guy, but he's a good-looking older guy with an accent, like, just, so cute. But he played a great part, right? His heart was actually where it should be. He just was kind of out for himself initially, right? And the idea that we see Courtney's mom remind him of his sister really brings him back down to reality. And even in the last episode, he said, I kind of like Blue Valley. Has terrible tea, but I'll be around. I really like that character. I'm glad to see he's back. So when it comes to these side characters, one thing I want to mention is Beth. Beth is one of those characters that is very similar to Courtney, that they hold on to hope. Even in the face of a divorce or, being left out, so many things going wrong in their life, she's smiling almost through her tears. And I love that. I love that character. In the episode where she actually goes up against Eclipso, we see her kind of face the idea. JSA originally started, right, in the 40s, I would say. I could be wrong about that. Correct me in the comments below. But the idea that a woman, a black woman, would be in as a predecessor to the JSA is what he really latched onto. You are a black woman. And, she just kind of turns it around and she's like, I don't care. I'm proud of that. I love that, actually. I'm not just proud of it. I love it. I embrace it. And she was the only one to really be able to fight through Eclipso and how the illusions that he portrayed in the best, most positive way possible. And I absolutely love her character. Now, one character, actually two, a little bit got on my nerves, was Yolanda. Now, I understand she did kill Bravenwave Sr. in the last season. And she was working through that trauma. And I understand that it is furthering and developing her character. But I just wanted to be like, bitch, what? Stop feeling bad for yourself. Just stop. Stop whining. And I get it. I've obviously never killed anyone. I don't know how that feels. But the entire time she's just like, but Courtney. And I'm like, you're going to come back around. We know you are. Stop. And a little bit too with Rick. But I did love the interaction between him and Grundy. It was kind of this amazing idea that the person, Grundy, who killed his parents when he was young, he was able to make amends with. He let him go in the first season, let him live. They share apples and it's adorable. And poor Grundy. He died in the last episode, but it is Grundy. So who knows? Next season, he might be born on a Monday. Okay, I'll quit. But I absolutely loved this season. There was so much great seeing all of these characters interact with facing their fears, facing the worst things possible, facing the idea of their extinction, of the idea of Blue Valley's extinction, and then seeing new characters added in, like Jade, right? Adorable Ginny. She was rather reserved in character, and I don't know if maybe that is going to be, embraced and she's going to start to open up a little bit. But the idea that they dropped Obsidian possibly for season 3, and we have to talk about one huge thing in season 3. Oh my goodness. Mr. Bones, Director Bones, is coming. So I will say that little tease at the end, I kind of figured from, I think it would have been 2 episodes before they did drop the name of Benjamin Loveless, right? And I knew that it was, or Benjamin Love, I'm sorry, not Loveless. They dropped his wife's name. So I knew Benjamin Love was coming. I do have a feeling that Benjamin Love will be the main villain, but they're using Bones because he's a little bit more known. Benjamin Love basically experimented upon a bunch of women. He was a gynecologist, and that is how Bones came around. And I love Bones. He's such a not give a fuck type character. And I love when you see this character and then he's voiced by Keith David. And you have to remember, before all this happened, Bones was a black man. Again, they're using the diverse characters within the DCEU and giving them limelight that they would have never had before. This is one thing that's so unique about this show. Superman and Lois, to an extent, also with Steel and Natasha, but this show really digs into that lore, and I think a lot of that is thanks to Geoff Johns. He knows these characters like the back of his hand, and he's using all of that rich lore to his benefit. And this is what happens. This is where why went wrong. That it used those things to their benefit. And seeing Bones, is pretty fucking cool. I'm assuming we'll get more with the Helix Institute and Benjamin Love, experimenting. There's, I think, 6 different people he experimented upon there. And then I'm guessing that Bones will be more like Shade, right? Where you think he's going to be a bad guy at first, and then he ends up being a good guy. He's more of an anti-hero anyways, right? So I'm sure that's probably how they're going to go. Now, I will say, just because it was a teaser, I'm going to hold out hope. But that CGI, oof, oh my. I get it's like translucent skin, but for when it's like white translucent skin, which is weird, because he's not white, and the other, his teeth look really bad, like really fake. I don't know. So I'm hoping they fix that for season 3. They should have just went behind him and had his cape real high and just showed his hand, right? Or something similar to that. But I digress. That doesn't matter. It looks like towards season 3 though, everybody's, you've got the Crocs moving back. You've got Artemis living next door to Courtney. How's that going to happen? They're all a big community. Get it? Oh my God. I'll quit with the puns. I swear to God. Yeah, probably not. But I really enjoyed this show. I really enjoyed this show. I thought it was fun. I thought the idea of, hope versus disdain was really cool, because the power of hope lets us accept really things in our lives right now and kind of imagine how they could be. And without it, we really couldn't evolve. And we see that through each and every single episode. Hope's not wishing. It's actually doing. It's willpower, it's energy, it's perseverance, it's goals, it's pathways to get to said goals. And we see that, but head to head with fear and hatred and putrid and disdain each and every single episode. But at the end of the season, what we saw prevail was the idea that hope can live, even if at sometimes you are not aspirational. You can learn to prevail. And I thought that was really great. A lot of these shows don't have that aspirational messaging. And both seasons of this show has absolutely had it. The first season was more along the lines of, just because you think you're doing the right thing doesn't mean the way you're going about it is right? And now we're seeing the idea that hope trumps hate. And I love it. I love these kind of feel-good messaging, because really that's what comics, are about. Getting over and, persevering over societal issues or political issues or issues within your family or issues within your own brain or an existential crisis altogether. That's what comics are all about. They're supposed to be inspirational, and that's absolutely what this was. So let me know what you guys think down below. I could keep going on and on about it, but we'll probably talk about it on Tuesday. Yeah, we're definitely talking about it on Tuesday, because I want to talk more and more about it. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.